All right, one of the questions that you're going to be asked on your homework is to look at a function like this and tell me what the domain and range is. So I have, these arrows on both ends here. So that means that this function continues to go toward the right. It goes on out like that. And this function continues to go out to the left. At no point is there a gap between these functions where there's an x value that's not included anywhere. So even though it looks like they're not connected in terms of the x-axis, they absolutely are. So for the x-axis, oh goodness, that is really big. So for the x-axis, the entire thing should be highlighted for the domain, to represent the domain. Because really, it's that big again. Let me go here and erase that, and let me go here and pick the little one. Okay, so it starts out here at negative infinity. It's got values here, values here, values here, values here. It jumps up to here, but it's still got values. It's got values, it's got values, and it goes on out this way. So the entire x-axis is highlighted. Now, so for the domain of this one, if you're doing interval notation, whoops, parentheses, negative infinity to positive infinity, if you're doing, you can't do inequalities. You would just have to say all real numbers. All real numbers for inequality notation. For the range, however, for these step functions, there are gaps in the range. There's only three values in the range. So for this one, the range is going to be what we call roster notation. It's just going to be a list of numbers. So the numbers that are in my range are -2, 1, 3. Those are the only numbers that are in my range. If you went and made a list of every ordered pair, even if you only use the ones that have integer values, if you went and made a list of every ordered pair, all of the y values in this section right here, all of the y values would be -2. In this little section right here, all of the y values would be 1, and in this section right here, all of the y values would be 3. So those three numbers are the only three numbers that we have in our range, because all of the ordered pairs in the entire function, and there's infinite many ordered pairs, all of them have only those three y values. So those are the only three y values. All right. Then the last thing that I'm going to show you is a word problem. And the word problem says, okay, we start off and it costs $30 a day. So I'm going to make a table. We're renting a wallpaper steamer. I've done that before. Steamed off wallpaper. It's horrible. Don't ever do it. It's horrible. So it costs $30 a day. So for day one, it costs $30. And then it says, if the time in days is not a whole number, then you round it up to the next greatest day. So in other words, day, I keep it a day and a half, or I keep it 1.75 days, or I keep it 1.9 days, or if I keep it 2 days. Anything beyond this goes up to that next day. So these are all $60. Okay, so for one day it's $30. Everything between 1 day and 2 days is $60. Let's see. Let's say if I keep it half a day, I still pay $30 for it. So everything between 0 and 1 day is $30. And then, so for 2.5 days is $90. And then it says, You could get it for $90 for the whole week. It says if the time is not a whole number, rounded up to the next greatest day. Customers are given the weekly rate if it's cheaper than the daily rate. So anything beyond 2 days is going to be the same as the weekly rate. So that's all there's going to be. So to make this a little bit shorter, there's going to be 3 payments. You're going to pay $30 as long as you keep it for less than a day or up to a day. You're going to pay $60 if you keep it anywhere between 1 day to 2 days. And then you're going to pay $90 if you keep it anywhere beyond 2 days up to, and it says we can only keep it from 7 days. Okay. So those are the 3 payments. So that's going to be my function right there. And then my restrictions here are going to be get it at 0 days. They did not include 0, so let me take that bar away. So I have to have it more than 0 days, but all the way up to 1 day, and that's $30. As soon as I spend 1 day, so 1 day costs $30. Anything bigger than 1 day if it's beyond 1 day, then it costs $60, and the second day does cost $60. Anything bigger than 2 is going to cost $90. Anything from 2 to 7. So a half a day costs $30. 1 day costs $30. 1.5 days cost $60. 1.9 days cost $60. 2 days cost $60. 2.1 days cost $90. 2.2 days. So that's what the equation looks like. Now to graph it. So right here at 0, we start at 30, but we don't include 0 because they told me not to include it right there. So that's an open circle. And it stays $30 all the way until we get to 1. And then at 1, it does cost us $30, so we're going to fill that in. And then as soon as we go a little bit beyond 1 day, it jumps up to $60. So at 1 day all the way up to 2, it costs $60. And then as soon as it goes a little bit beyond 2 days, 2 days and 1 hour, 2 days and 1 second, they're going to charge you $90. And then it's going to stay that way until you get to 7. And then you have to turn it in. So that's what that step function looks like. What is the domain? The domain was given. They gave us the domain right there. It was given. So the domain is, I'll write it in interval notation. So it starts at 0. It stops at 7. What is the range? The range is in roster notation. It is $30, $60, or $90. Those are the only 3 payments that you have. All right, that should get you through your Desmos activity.